Every student on BYU campus has been to the ID Center, but with some recent and potential future changes, that might not always be the case.
Universe Live reporter Harley Hunsaker gets a closer look at the place that makes the ID cards, their recent changes, and their connection to the Honor Code office. Harley?
Brigham Young University is filled with centers, departments, and employees that all work together to make sure that everything functions properly. But one center in particular may be overlooked but plays an important role not only on campus, but with the Honor Code. That center is the ID Center.
The first stop every incoming freshman makes on campus is the BYU ID Center. BYU requires each student to own an ID card for functions like door access and Cougar Cash. But the ID Center is making some big changes to the way they issue cards.
That is a super exciting change that we initiated right before COVID hit, interestingly.
Elaine Lorazin is the managing director for HR and support in the Office of IT, so she works directly with the ID Center.
We wanted to try and shorten the amount of time people were spending getting their ID card.
So, instead of getting your photo taken in the center,
How does that look?
you can submit your photo through the ID Center website. But your photo still has to abide by the dress and grooming standards as outlined in the Honor Code.
Sometimes with like clothing or piercings or hair, it can be a little more personal and sensitive.
The dress and grooming standards are found under BYU's policies, and BYU's Honor Code requires students to follow them.
We are one of the only centers that enforce the dress and grooming standards, so that can be difficult just because students aren't reminded of it very often.
And for Aros and Orndorff as employees, it's their job to approve or deny photos sent in if they do not meet BYU's dress and grooming standards.
In order to take your photo, you do have to be clean shaven.
Once your photo is approved online, you still have to come into the center to print it and activate it.
RO says they have to deny about 5 to 10 ID photos a week due to a student not following the dress and grooming standards. So if it's time to renew your ID photo, review the standards and then submit your photo online. I'm Harley Hunsaker reporting for Universe Live, Provo.
Thank you, Harley.